A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Sochi Autodrome for race 2 in the CoppaShell series of the Ferrari Challenge. We're live in Russia for the round 4 of the Ferrari Challenge. Already we have been to Monza, to Mugello, and the calendar will unfurl in front of you in just moments from now. There it is, Le Mans, where we made a guest visit to the Le Mans 24-hour race. And here we are in Sochi with Hockenheim in Germany still to come, Jerez in Spain, and the glittering world finale to come in Daytona right at the beginning of December. All the information about the Ferrari Challenge at races.ferrari.com. That's the website, that's the portal for you to check out everything to do with the Ferrari Challenge. What a year it's been, what a year it continues to be. And we're here at this 5.853 kilometer circuit that is the Sochi Autodrome, and what a backdrop we have. Air temperature 28 degrees, boy don't I know that. Track temperature 41 degrees and the humidity some 75%. And there are thousands of people here in Sochi to enjoy this event, which forms part of the Ferrari Racing Days, which has been organized here at the Sochi Autodrome and has drawn, as I say, thousands of spectators in to not only enjoy the race action from the Ferrari Challenge, but many other displays from Ferrari as well, including Formula One cars out on track, which has been great to see. Some of the historic Formula One cars that are owned by customers that are given the privilege to race those cars around this circuit. And there, as we continue our backdrop to this phenomenal place, and there is the grid. And the front row is occupied by Thomas Loflad and Rick Lovett. Von Skeltermar won the race yesterday. Rick Lovett was P2. Thomas Loflad led for a good number of the racing laps, but ended up finishing P6. See what he can do from pole position today. His qualifying absolutely supreme, giving him that pole position. P1 for Thomas Loflad. So, you've heard me talk about Sochi. Here it is in postcard. So a little snapshot of what the race fans have enjoyed here at the Sochi Autodrome over the course of this fantastic Ferrari Racing Days weekend here in Russia. Eric Chung starts as the record man in the 458 Challenge, had more starts than anybody else, and has his own personal fan inside the car. Fantastic. Well done, Eric. And he's going from P4 on the grid. Could do with that up here, Eric. Thomas Loflad, as I mentioned, goes from pole position. Rick Lovett, the Canadian racer, goes from alongside. Then it is Von Skeltermar, yesterday's race winner, going from P3. Another good qualifying for the Netherlands-based racer, Von Skeltermar. And then Eric Chung, who we've just seen with his personal cooling device inside the car. Claudio Schiavone, great qualifying from Claudio. He goes from P5. Tommy Lindroth, a beer hunter, goes from P6. Then it's Murat Kuhadaroglu going from P7. Kriton Lendudis from P8. Christian Kinch, P9. Deborah Mayer, the lady racer, goes from P10, and it's Michael Luzic going from P11 on the grid. So the Ferrari cars then, the 458 is the model. It's the Evo version, which features the front splitter and the big rear wing, which gives it additional downforce. It's the Evolution model of the 458, and what a fantastic racing car this is. 4,400cc mid-engine Berlinetta, and it is a phenomenal car to drive, and has been a supremely successful Ferrari Challenge racing car. There's the Hublot safety car, and there is our pole-sitting driver, Thomas Loflad, who drives for the Style F Squadra Corsa team. And he's looking confident. He had one or two issues with track limits yesterday, and weren't without track limits issues during qualifying as well. Rick Lovett, gentleman racer, racing for the CoppaShell racing team, and gentleman racer as well by dint of his age. He goes from P2 on the grid. I'm very happy with the qualifying performance that he's had. On board then with Rick Lovett as we look at the start-finish straight, and here is yesterday's victor, von Scheltema, also for CoppaShell Racing. He is going from P3 on the grid, and another one of those gentleman racers. Race 1 was yesterday. And as the lights went green, Rick Lovett was very, very keen indeed. Eric Chung was another driver that was also very, very keen, a little bit too keen perhaps, as he was going to get a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. Thomas Loflad then with a bold and ambitious move on Rick Lovett, but it was firm and fair, and that caused Rick Lovett just momentary problems, and that's how the overtake appeared from inside that 458 of Rick Lovett. Then it was Eric Chung who kept the pressure on Thomas Loflad, and Loflad was in trouble, and not only was he in trouble, he took Kriton Lendudis in the same direction, which meant he suffered. Von Scheltema throwing absolutely everything at the car to try and get alongside Rick Lovett. Eventually he did get alongside him, and he would go through to make the pass, not here, but at another turn. Outbraked Rick Lovett on the inside. As Rick went to turn in, he realised that the space that he wanted to turn into was full of the shark's teeth of von Scheltema, and from there on in, von Scheltema nailed every single apex, heading towards the checkered flag to take a fine win. For CoppaShell Racing, it was P1 and P2 with von Scheltema and Rick Lovett. Here's the grid for race 2 then. Thomas Loflad goes from pole position. Rick Lovett is P2. Von Scheltema, yesterday's winner, as you've just seen, goes from P3. And the motor service driver, Eric Chung, his 2:15.829, giving him enough for P4 on the grid. All the information at races.ferrari.com. As you can see, the website at the bottom of the grid graphics there. To the next row of the grid, Claudio Schiavone for Scuderia Nicky goes from P5. Tommy Lindroth from Baron Service goes P6. Then it's Murat Kuhuadaroglu going from P7 with Kriton Lendudis rounding out the 4th row of our grid for today's race, race number 2, with Christian Kinch for Go Motorsport, a better qualifying for him. Deborah Mayer, the lady racer for Scuderia Nicky, goes from P10. And Michael Luzic then for Motor Service goes from P11 on the grid. The 6 rows of the CoppaShell grid in full for you. And we are just moments away from the cars being released on their formation lap. And they're just a few of the many spectators that are here to enjoy this 30-minute race, which is about to get underway. I mentioned the Formula One cars. Andrea Bertolini driving one of those Formula One cars in demonstration, all as part of the Ferrari Racing Days activities here at the Sochi Autodrome. As we do a run-through of all our onboard cameras, von Scheltema looks back towards the car of Claudio Schiavone. There is our safety car, and the safety car as well has a onboard camera, and that's how it looks from the back of that very Hublot safety car that we were talking about. And as the car is released, stand by, 10 seconds from now, as the safety car makes its way up towards turn number 1, the cars will be released for their formation lap now. Absolute pinch perfect timing from all the race officials here at the Sochi Autodrome as the formation lap is underway. And we'll take you on a quick lap of the Sochi Autodrome, which of course intertwines with the Olympic Park here. They go through turn number 1, which is that small kink off the start-finish straight, and also contains the pit exit, as you can see from the white line there to the very left of your screen. Heading up towards turn number 2 now, which is one of the 12 right-handers on the track, before they start the sweep left hand, which is one of the 6 left-handers. around past the Medals Plaza. In the Drivers' Championship, as you can see, Thomas Loflad with a commanding lead over von Skeltermar on 74 points, and Eric Prinot, who's not here this weekend, on 60 points. Therefore, a great opportunity for Rick Lovett to move into P3 in the points come the end of this race. But Thomas Loflad in a good position at the moment, right at the top of the chart. So, having gone around the Medals Plaza, it's turn 4, and all the social media on screen for you. You can check out everything to do with the Ferrari Challenge. Safety car comes into view, and as you can see, the racing cars have soon caught up with the safety car, which was released 10 seconds ahead of the racing cars. Cars will all grid up behind the safety car for a rolling start, which is traditionally the way that the Ferrari Challenge races are started. Tension on the team's faces as thumbs up there from Thomas Kinemata. Dinner with Thomas last night. Well, I say at dinner with Thomas, he was on the table opposite. We're on board with Rick Lovett. And there are some fantastic shots that we're able to bring you. The whole track just weaving its way around this Olympic Park obviously provides a stunning backdrop, and lots and lots of very, very unforgiving walls here. So track limits are only an issue through certain turns, it has to be said. But track limits have proved to be an issue over the course of the 3 Ferrari Challenge races we've had. 2 for Trofeo Pirelli done and dusted. We've had 1 for the CoppaShell, because this is the second one, which is about to get underway. Style F Squadra Corsa on the pit wall there. Fingers crossed for their driver, Thomas Loflad, who of course goes from pole position, having done everything in qualifying necessary to give him that advantageous start position. The beer hunter, Tommy Lindroth, in the black and orange colours of Baron Service. So to the final sequence of turns then, through 15, 16, 17 and 18. Safety car will peel off into the pit lane. And that will mean it is the responsibility of the front row, that of Thomas Loflad and Rick Lovett, to control the pace of this rolling start. 30 minutes of race action to come from the CoppaShell drivers in the Ferrari Challenge. You can see how keen Rick Lovett is. You can see how keen Thomas Loflad is, because he's left Rick Lovett and they're not even on to the start-finish straight yet. One more turn to do. Side by side as they head towards the lighting gantry, which is at the top of the screen. Increase the revs and the power goes down. Let's go racing. It is race number 2 for CoppaShell in Ferrari Challenge. Rick Lovett and Thomas Loflad are absolutely side by side. No quarter given or taken between the two of them. But it is Thomas Loflad that gets his nose in front. Von Skeltermar now on the back of Rick Lovett, which is exactly the way they started. But Eric Chung is right alongside Von Skeltermar, and he's got his nose in front. So Eric Chung goes through to take up P3. And von Skeltermar also under pressure there from the car of Quiton Lendudis, who had a fantastic start there. Car number 131 starting from P8 on the grid and is already up to P5. There's the order through Sector 1. Loflad, Lovett, Chung and Skeltermar, the 1, 2, 3, 4 then. And Thomas Loflad already coming under pressure from Rick Lovett, who will be very keen. There's only a couple of real places here on this Sochi Autodrome circuit where overtaking is best done. And Rick Lovett just eyeing up that Style F Squadra Corsa car ahead of him, but he's soon going to be under pressure from the hard-charging motor service driver Eric Chung, who is in P3 as well. There all 3 of them go. This is the very corner where Thomas Loflad lost out yesterday. And in replay there, looking back, and that the number 131 car of Quiton Lendudis that we could see from our rearward facing camera. So Loflad leading then from Rick Lovett, who is P2. Eric Chung is P3. Then it's von Skeltermar. And then it is Kriton Lendudis with Murat Kuhudaroglu following in that P6 position. On board with Rick Lovett then as he chases down the race leader, Thomas Loflad. Now, yesterday, Thomas Loflad did bow to the pressure that was placed upon him and make a rare error. And if Rick Lovett can get close enough to do the same again, then he could find himself in that P1 position. So, in conversation with Rick Lovett, he really is liking this circuit. He's also taking part in various North American Series races as well, ahead, of course, of the World Finals to come in the beginning of December at Daytona. And he is within 6/10 of the car ahead and is just going to try and unsettle Thomas Loflad by making sure that the CoppaShell Racing driver's car is seen in the rearview mirrors of Thomas Loflad to try and unsettle him. These two are breaking away a little bit from Eric Chung, and Eric Chung in turn is breaking away a little bit from von Skeltermar, who is running in P4. So incredible pace that's being set by both Thomas Loflad and Rick Lovett. As you can see, 5/10 or 5.5 tenths between the two of them. And it is the battle for first position. Behind von Skeltermar, Kriton Lendudis coming under a bit of pressure from Murat Kuhudaroglu. Very much a battle for third position between Eric Chung and von Skeltermar, because Eric Chung has gapped von Skeltermar to the tune of just under 2 seconds. So Eric Chung doing a good job here and now beginning to reel in Rick Lovett. As you can see, the gap between himself and Rick Lovett has really come down. Now, as these two start battling, what that will do is play into the hands of Thomas Loflad, because if Rick Lovett has to start defending from Eric Chung, that means he's not attacking Thomas Loflad, and that allows him to get up the road and increase that margin from 6/10, which is what it is currently. He's just done the fastest Sector 1 of anyone, which he would, because he's the car with clear air ahead of him. Absolutely no traffic to worry about. Brought the time down a margin, as you can see, by about 4/10. Thomas Loflad and Rick Lovett trying to keep with him. Eric Chung, of course, running in dirty air off the back of the Rick Lovett car, and has just allowed Rick Lovett to move away a little bit. Kriton Lendudis still being chased by Murat Kuhudaroglu in P6. 7/10 between the two of them. Thomas Loflad will be disappointed that he's not pulled away sufficiently from Rick Lovett. Also keep your eyes on Tommy Lindroth running in P7, who's reeling in that number 133 car of Murat Kuhudaroglu. So the cars all run through then, and leaders make their way around to the turns here. Deborah Mayer running in P10, and it's Michael Luzic in P7. Fastest lap has come on lap 2 from Rick Lovett, a 2:16.723, which is 2 1/1000ths quicker than Thomas Loflad. So the gap has remained about the same, hasn't it, at 5.5 tenths or so. So Rick Lovett then in this really unenvious position of trying to hunt and also being hunted by Eric Chung as well. So he's having to really focus on the target ahead of him, but also consider the car behind. As a brief look into the mirror there, as you saw, 2:16.723, then the fastest lap, as I told you about a few moments ago, is placed up there in graphics on the screen. So all three of them lapping within, well, the lap times between Lovett and Loflad are almost identical. As I say, last time around it was 2 1/1000ths quicker for Rick Lovett, and Eric Chung was just a couple of tenths slower than the both of them. But now I think he's beginning to once again pull them in. Rick Lovett there. Brilliant shot that is. Here's a replay of the start then, and Lovett and Loflad absolutely side by side as they headed towards turn number 1. So Murat Kuhudaroglu made a fantastic start there and got past the car of Claudio Schiavone without too much trouble at all, and made up a goodly number of places going into turn number 2. We're back live now with the lead, which is Thomas Loflad in car number 151. You can see there for Style Squadra Corsa. P2 is Rick Lovett running for the CoppaShell racing team. 7 racing minutes have elapsed so far of this 30-minute race. So what can Rick Lovett, the Canadian racer, bring to Thomas Loflad to try and provoke a tiny error from him? Certainly made one yesterday, so he knows he's not too resistant to it. And now Lovett is right on his gearbox, isn't he? Look at that, virtually welded together, the two of them. Ready to pounce now, both of them over the curbs. Just keeping an eye on the message screen as well with regards to track limits, because that is why Thomas Loflad fell foul of the stewards yesterday, and also during some qualifying this morning, being warned about exceeding the track limits. It's a really hot topic in motorsport at the moment, and is also the case here in the Ferrari Challenge as well. So going past the Christian Kinch car is Claudio Schiavone. That's the battle going on for P8. And in P8 now it is the 102 car. Christian Kinch there, who had a big off at Le Mans, you may recall, before racing even started. Good to see him back out and racing again, although he did take part in the Le Mans race in a spare car, because his car was thoroughly damaged. Loflad marginally quicker than Lovett on the last lap. 2:17.062 plays 2:17.174. Here's a replay of the overtake then. Racing room left between the two of them as Christian Kinch went to turn in. He could see that Claudio Schiavone was in the gap, so rather than resist that overtake, so through did Claudio Schiavone to take up that P8 position. Battle for P5 is between Kriton Lendudis then and Murat Kuhadaroglu. Motor Service versus CoppaShell Racing, and Tommy Lindroth lurking not far behind in P7 for Baron Service. So through this sequence of turns, it's turns 15, 16, 17 and 18, goes around the back of the paddock area and onto the start-finish straight, in front of the thousands of race fans here to enjoy Ferrari Racing Days weekend. Loflad leads by 8/10 now over Rick Lovett. Say 8/10, it's nothing, is it? As you can see, Lovett gets ever closer once again, and it really is being able to match the pace of Thomas Loflad pretty much. 8.5 tenths the gap between the two of them. Loflad taking a much wider line through that big turn 2, 3 and 4 sequence that goes around the Medals Plaza, and just think that the slightly wider line that Loflad takes allows him to carry a bit more speed around past the Medals Plaza before heavy braking and closing sector 1 around turn number 4. Back on the power for Rick Lovett from CoppaShell Racing then. Running in P2, we're on board with him, and it's a fantastic onboard shot. Again, heavy braking. Sequential gearbox on these 4,400cc phenomenal GT cars from the Ferrari Challenge. Again, over the curbs and the rumble strips. Make their way past the Adler Arena on the right-hand side of track position. And now down through what is turn 11 and turn 12, and heading towards turn 13, which is another heavy braking zone where they turn in before the sweep around turn 14 and 15. There you can see the heavy braking going on. Eric Chung very nearly on terms with Rick Lovett once again. So turn 16 they go through now. Round the back of the paddock before heavy braking for turn 17 and 18. So there is pit in. One more corner. And out onto the start-finish straight once again. Interestingly, the only car that's being warned about track limits thus far is car number 102, currently running in P8, and that's the Claudio Schiavone car. As we look at Deborah Mayer, the lady racer, who behind her is Michael Luzic from Motor Service, the battle going on for P10 that we can see playing out on screen for you right now and out on track as well. 12 minutes of the race done. And Deborah doing a great job in driving very, very defensively in a Scuderia Nicky car and denying Michael Luzic the opportunity to move up from P11 to P10. Good racing from Deborah Meyer. Interestingly, Meyer and Luzic just some 32 seconds down on the race leaders, but it is a very, very long lap here, 5.848 kilometers. And Loflad has just increased by a tenth or two of the margin between himself and Rick Lovett right at the front. It's now just under a second at 9.5 tenths or thereabouts. 5 tenths back before Eric Chung in P3, but we focus on this battle for P10 as Michael Luzic just takes a look at the inside of the Deborah Meyer car, but Deborah makes sure that the car is in the right place to defend and defend well. So Michael Luzic then driving for the motor service team, a gentleman driver himself. So Loflad, Lovett and Eric Chung as we go back to the battle that continues for P1, P2 and P3, who in 16 and a half minutes time is going to take the checkered flag. At the moment, you have to say Thomas Loflad has not put one wheel out of place. Brilliant driving thus far. Rick Lovett has stayed with him though, and he's not without the opportunity here, potentially, should Loflad make a mistake, of being able to pounce like a viper. And the Stylev Squadra Corsa driver ahead of him is very well aware of that fact. Now it's the exit of turn 18 where track limits has been an issue for a number of drivers, but both the cars absolutely fine and dandy around turn 18 on that occasion. This is Eric Chung in super slow-mo, who's currently running in P3. For P2, it is the CoppaShell Racing driver Rick Lovett. And for P1, it is Stylev Squadra Corsa's Thomas Loflad. So 3 different teams occupying the top 3 positions in this CoppaShell race thus far. Deborah Meyer then, the lady racer for Scuderia Nicky, who is currently running in P10. So Thomas Loflad leading the points. And he's only 8 tenths up the road of Rick Lovett at the moment. Stay on board with Rick Lovett. We can see him at work on the left-hand side of the screen, using the paddle shifts both sides of the steering wheel to move up and down the gearbox as necessary in this 4,400cc mega powerful 458 car. And now Tommy Lindroth is reeling in Muhat Kuhadaroglu, who is running in P6 at the moment. I said a couple of laps ago, just keep your eyes on car number 127, because the beer hunter is hunting now. So Tommy Lindroth, after the Kuhadaroglu car ahead of him. So Murat will be very well aware of the fact that Tommy Lindroth is lurking behind. Brakes, and Tommy even lifts a wheel, taking so much curb, and Deborah Meyer still defending hard from Michael Luzic then down there in that P10 position. Stylev Squadra Corsa for Deborah Meyer, the team that engineers the car. Beg your pardon, it's Scuderia Nicky, of course, for Deborah Meyer. And it's motor service for the car that is doing the chasing at the moment, Michael Luzic. So Scuderia Nicky running the Deborah Meyer car, and also the car of Claudia Schiavoni. Scuderia Nicky, a brand new team into the Ferrari Challenge for this season, and very welcome they are too, and doing a great job of engineering those cars. But now Michael Luzic is as close as he's ever been to Deborah Mayer, but Deborah Mayer makes sure she puts the car in exactly the right position for every single turn, which is denying Michael the opportunity. Now, might have a go through the final turn, but isn't going to be close enough to be able to do so. So there is the live gap. It's 5/10 as they cross the timing line. And it's just 9/10 between this driver in P1 and that driver in P2. Thomas Loflad, Rick Lovett doing the chasing. What they have done is the pair of them have left Eric Chung in their wake, because Eric Chung is some 3 seconds behind now. So Rick Lovett now is not under pressure, and he's in the perfect position, if you like, because he's not troubled by cars behind him. He can focus absolutely 100% on trying to attack the 151 car ahead. But Thomas Loflad has just got the edge in terms of pace, because he has the open track, clear track ahead of him. 2:17.049 for Thomas Loflad last time around, 2:17.151 for Rick Lovett. So merely a 10th between the two of them. That 10th is just enough. Through the speed trap, Thomas Loflad achieves 249 kilometers per hour, whereas you can see Rick Lovett, well, he achieves 252 kilometers per hour through the speed trap. And Claudio Schiavone has just done a personal best, sector 1, sector 2, and a very, very quick last lap as well. Claudio Schiavone running in P8. In fact, better than anyone last time around. But Loflad, well, his sector 3 is faster than Rick Lovett. Right, P4, Creton Lendoudis then. And von Skeltermar. Von Skeltermar, of course, victorious yesterday. And Creton Lendoudis, who is the car ahead of von Skeltermar at the moment. He finished on the podium, but it was P3. Well, Creton not even in a podium position at the moment, because he's running in P4. Von Skeltermar is running in P5. Car 102 is being warned once again with regards to track limits, which is why he posted that phenomenal lap time, theoretically, then, for Claudio Schiavone running in P8. Turned the lap times purple with a better than anyone 2:16.607. And possibly because he shortcutted, and there we can see Claudio Schiavone now all of a sudden is right on the back of Tommy Lindroth. So Tommy Lindroth, who attacking Murat Kuhadaroglu, is now going to have to think about attacking and also think about defending as well. This is Claudio Schiavone going like a train at the moment in that number 102 car, running in P8. P7 ahead is Tommy Lindroth, and in P6 it is the Kessel Racing driver Murat Kuhadaroglu. And this is good news for Kuhadaroglu, because Tommy Lindroth having to focus on making sure he doesn't leave any slivers of gaps for Claudio Schiavone, means that he's not able to attack ahead of him. So Schiavone really is looking very, very racy indeed here. Just under 10 minutes of the race to do, and Tommy Lindroth now is going to have to make that 458 as wide as possible to prevent the Claudio Schiavone car making P8 into P7. So the Scuderia Nicky driver then running in P8. It's currently the one that has set the fastest lap. We think track limits helped in that. It was a 2:16.607 from Claudio Schiavone, and that's why he has managed to really get onto the back of the Tommy Lindroth car. So just comparing the times, 2:17.967 last time around for Tommy Lindroth, where it was a 2:16.607 for Claudio Schiavone, who's gone! Carried too much speed and has gone. And where that car is situated there, do hope he can get it going from there, because it is in a vulnerable position. It's to the outside of the turn. Yes, he does manage to get it going again. We'll show you a replay of that. Just caught it at the back of the picture. So Claudio Schiavone, who was doing a great job in terms of pressuring Tommy Lindroth, actually just pushed it a little bit too hard and ended up turning the car around. So valiant effort from Claudio Schiavone. And there you can see just on the exit of turn number 18. That was the picture I saw, and the car just turns around. It's on the exit of turn number 18, where we have seen cars run wide, which is why I felt that the car might be a little bit vulnerable, but the curbs playing their part in unsettling the car there and sending him around. Well, Thomas Loflad has slowly been increasing the margin between himself and Rick Lovett. It's up to 1.796 seconds now. So Thomas Loflad doing a very, very good job out front. P1, Rick Lovett is P2, Eric Chung P3. So turn 18 then was the problem for car number 102. Claudio Schiavone, who now finds himself down there, P9, just ahead of Deborah Mayer, who continues to hold Michael Luzic at bay, who is running in P11. So the Kessel racer, Rick Lovett, we go on board with now. Continues his quest to try and get on terms with Thomas Loflad, but Thomas Loflad has just been a tenth quicker every sector, and that's just enough to increase that margin of comfort that he has over Rick Lovett at the moment, which is at 1.247 seconds. Down through the gearbox then, hard across the rumble strips of the curb. Rick Lovett was telling me he very much enjoys the challenge of this circuit, because there are sections where there's runoff, but there are also other sections as he clears turn 18 that will bite you hard because of the unforgiving barriers. It's this track around the Olympic Park here in Sochi in Russia. So the 154 car there we see of Michael Luzic, who's still being denied that P10 place by Deborah Mayer, who has done a great job in terms of defending. There's 6/10 between the two of them for P10 and P11 at the moment. Deborah Mayer, the only lady racer here in Russia. Ordinarily across the Ferrari Challenge CoppaShell, there are 3 lady racers. Deborah Mayer, that car there, number 108. And also Manuela Gosner and Corinna Gosner. Form 2 parts of the 4-part Gosner family that go racing. And now, up the inside goes Michael Luzic. Deborah Mayer did leave a gap there, but Deborah Mayer, if she can be, no! Out on the curbs, out onto the grass, and just clatters into the barriers. Now, that will have punctured maybe only one, maybe 2 of the tyres. Deborah Mayer there, who's really slow now. What a great shame, because she'd driven such a superb race in defence and is limping the car back to safety now. So here it is again. She's carrying so much speed there. Michael Luzic, and just on, you can see the dust come off the tarmac because it's off the racing line. And once you're off the racing line, and there, the disappointment for Scuderia Nicky, and there is Deborah Mayer then. The car is going no more. Now, where is that on the track? Because dependent upon where that is, that could cause a problem. We can see the team from Scuderia Nicky then on the pit perch there. As Thomas Loflad for Starlev Squadra Corsa continues to lead. We've got under 5 minutes of the race remaining. What a great shame for Deborah Mayer. I really feel sorry for her there, because just out onto the dirty part of the circuit where grip is at its least, and just clattered into the barriers. There is von Skeltermar then, who's kind of been out on his own really in P5. Tommy Lindroth is P6, so Tommy Lindroth has got past Murat Kuhadaroglu. And now has been released from that car, is up the road. So the order then is Loflad, Lovett, Chung, Lendudis, Skeltermar, Lindroth, the top 6, with Murat Kuhadaroglu P7, Christian Kinch P8, Claudia Schiavone P9, and Michael Luzic P10. Sadly, I think we've seen the last racing lap from Deborah Mayer, the lady racer here in Russia at the Sochi Autodrome, with 3 3/4 minutes left to run. So anxious faces down there from Scuderia Nicky. Claudio Schiavone, of course, running in P9 following that spin at turn 18. Thomas Loflad and Rick Lovett still second and a half between the two of them. We go back on board with Rick Lovett for CoppaShell Racing then. It's been a valiant effort to try and keep on terms with Thomas Loflad, but yeah, just taking a look at the last lap, 2:17.259 for Thomas Loflad. We're at 2:17.7 for Rick Lovett. It's just the final element of pace that the Starlef Quadricorsa engineered Thomas Loflad car has had. So we've got waved yellows now. Waved yellows hastily in, though. We've got 2 3/4 minutes left of this race. Can only assume that the waved yellow there was for the Deborah Mayer car, which is still stricken there around it's the turn 12-13 area is where Deborah Mayer went off and where the car came to rest. So P3 Eric Chung, P4 is Kriton Lendudis, and they're gapped enough to not really cause too much of a problem. Eric Chung not having to defend too hard. He's going to miss out on a podium today if it stays the way it is, but Kriton Lendudis trying over the last couple of minutes just to reel him in a bit, but reel him in he may be able to. He's also got to find a way past as well, and Eric Chung is running in P3. Kriton Lendudis P4, von Skeltermar P5. So Loflad, Lovett, Chung then for the podium. So Chung, who's not only racing in the European Ferrari Challenge, but also in that of the Asia Pacific as well. Absolutely loves his racing. Really, really super guy. So Thomas Loflad leading now by 2 seconds over Rick Lovett. Eric Chung P3, Kriton Lendudis P4, von Skeltermar P5. So there is the 198 car of Eric Chung, and the car of Kriton Lendudis then, 251 kilometers per hour through the speed trap. And in the top speeds there you can see who's quickest, and it's Rick Lovett, who is P2 at the moment. And there is the Rick Lovett car as Kriton Lendudis really does reel in. Eric Chung now around the back of the race control building now and heads towards the timing line as we start the final lap. It's one more circuit of this 5.8 kilometer track for Eric Chung to defend that P3 position from Kriton Lendudis. It's the closest battle certainly out there on track. Thomas Loflad with 3 seconds over Rick Lovett. And then we get back to this battle where there is just a few tenths between the two of them. Eric Chung and Kriton Lendudis then fighting over the final podium position. The best gentleman racer is going to be that Rick Lovett car that's in P2 at the moment. Fastest lap remains the Claudio Schiavone lap, which was a 2:16.607, which came on lap 9 of the race. So Kriton Lendudis then, whilst has tried very, very hard to take the battle to Eric Chung, this man has not put a foot wrong, not a wheel wrong the entire race. Thomas Loflad, who fell foul yesterday. So the car that took the P6 position in the race yesterday. And Starlef Quadricorsa are standing by to celebrate on the start-finish straight here, as their driver should bring the car home for P1, bearing it any disaster over the final few turns here as the brake discs light up, as the pressure of the brake pedal is pushing those brake pads against the big brake discs here on these fantastic Ferrari 458 cars. So just a couple of turns still to do for Thomas Loflad before he will take a victory here in Russia. And Thomas Loflad then with one turn now to head towards his fourth win of the season. He takes the checkered flag. 4 wins, two places, and a P6 for Thomas Loflad in the season so far. That's why he is at the top of the points chart. Done a fantastic job here. Rick Lovett takes P2, Eric Chung takes P3, denying Kriton Lendudis, who's P4, von Skeltermar P5, Tommy Lindroth takes P6, and it should be Murat Kuhadaroglu that takes P7. He crosses the line now. And delight down there for Stylev Squadra Corsa then, as their driver brings home that Ferrari to take P1. Claudio Schiavone is going to finish P9 because ahead of him is Christian Kinch. P7, Murat Kuhadaroglu. And there indeed goes the 102 car through the final turn. And Michael Luzic then will take P10, and sadly, Deborah Mayer clattered into the barriers and will not cross the timing line, which is a great shame because she's done such a fine job. There indeed is Michael Luzic then around the final turn now and heads towards the checkered flag. The CoppaShell race done and dusted, and the victory goes the way of Thomas Loflad. Best gentleman racer is Rick Lovett in car number 112. Eric Chung, P3. So as the aeroplane overhead from the Sochi airport, we could see, let's celebrate the fact that it's been a fine drive from Thomas Loflad. He's on his way back to the Parc Ferme area, which has been prepared inside the pit lane. And we take some super shots of Tommy Lindroth, who was saying to me just before the race how hot it's going to be inside the car. And spectators have had some fantastic race action from the Ferrari Challenge, both the Trofeo Pirelli series and the CoppaShell as well. From my vantage point up high in the grandstand, I can see Mrs. Chung making her way down to congratulate her husband Eric Chung for taking P3. A lovely couple, they really are super people. And we're on board with Rick Lovett, who achieves P2. I'll be pretty pleased to take 2 P2s out of the race weekend here. It's done his championship chances no harm at all as he chases down the Eric Prinot car. Thomas Loflad then P1, Rick Lovett P2. Eric Chung P3, Kriton Lendudis takes P4 with Skeltermar, Lindroth, Kuhadaroglu, then Kinch, Schiavone and Luzic occupying the rest of the places. Well, they're pretty delighted with their driver there, the Stylev Squadra Corsa squad. So Rick Lovett brings his car in, and so too Eric Chung. Now it's that particular car, 112 of Rick Lovett, which is having a passenger seat fitted into it for the Daytona World Finals. And Rick has said, Dave, you're coming out with me for a couple of laps of Daytona. Thank you, Rick. Although I should be happy about that one. The celebrations here for Thomas Loflad. So fantastically engineered car from Stylev Squadra Corsa, which gives Thomas Loflad the win. Congratulations all around. Eric Chung there.
Great job. It's hard, eh? It's hard.
Okay, let's remind ourselves of the highlights of that race. So as the lights went from red to green, it was going to be a drag race between Rick Lovett and Thomas Loflad heading towards turn number 1. Lurking not far behind was Eric Chung. And von Skeltermar, of course, the victor from yesterday, and Creton Lendudis, though, with a good job of getting very nearly up the inside of the von Skeltermar car. We can see, looking back from von Skeltermar, how he had to shut the door to deny the Creton Lendudis car. Well, the brake discs lit up as Thomas Loflad went through the first sequence of turns, being chased by Rick Lovett and Eric Chung, and that's the way it would remain for the rest of the race, to be truthful. Although once Thomas Loflad was in his stride, he was able to bang in some fantastic laps, and whatever Rick Lovett was able to throw at the car ahead, it was never going to be enough to quite get on terms, and certainly not to try and find a way past. Michael Luzic then on the inside of Deborah Mayer means Deborah Mayer is on the dirty part of the track, which means the grip is minimised. Finds herself over the curves onto the grass, and from there on in as a passenger into the barriers. That was a great shame for the Scuderia Nikki driver, who'd done a fantastic job in terms of denying Michael Luzic that P10 place. Thomas Loflad was going to add another victory to his fine tally here in Russia. His first win at the Sochi Autodrome, because yesterday's race it was only P6 following a spin, but Loflad taking the win and Tommy Lindroth taking some air on board. In the Drivers' Championship then, Rick Lovett does vault Eric Prinot. Von Skeltermar is P2 in the championship now with 82 points, but with a healthy margin at the top of the points, it is Thomas Loflad on 133. So brilliant driving from Thomas Loflad, who across the course of the season so far has performed exceptionally well. He's been on the podium for every single race bar race 1 in Sochi, where he took P6. He's had 2 P2s, and now he's had 4 wins. Well, the voice of Sergei Bednaruk here at the Sochi Autodrome is announcing the start of the podium ceremony. SMP Racing have done a brilliant job in conjunction with Ferrari to make this whole Ferrari Racing Days weekend at the Sochi Autodrome such a huge success, and they deserve much credit for it. So we're standing by. To the best of my knowledge, it's Antonello Coletta that will be making the presentations. He, the head of GT Sporting Activities for Ferrari. Loflad, Lovett, Chung, the drivers that we were expecting to see up the podium. And from our high vantage point here in the main grandstand at Sochi Autodrome, we can see the drivers making their way down the back of the podium right now. So stand by. Here comes Sergei to bring them out onto the various steps of the podium. P1, P2 and P3, of course, going the way of Thomas Loflad. The win, Rick Lovett, P2, and Eric Chung, P3. What a backdrop to a circuit this is. Temperatures have been absolutely fantastic this weekend, and you can see why it's such a popular holiday destination. So here we go. Stand by. Podium on its way then. No chance you get me up there. Eric Chung takes P3 and he heads towards the third step of the podium. There's Eric. P2, the Canadian racer, really, really likeable guy, and my chauffeur at Daytona. It's Rick Lovett. I was really rather hoping he might have forgotten about the offer that he made, but he hasn't. And taking the win, Thomas Loflad heads to the top step of the podium right now. Pretty happy with that win. Star F Squadra Corsa, of course, represented up there on the podium as the national anthem plays out right now.
Разрушал Германии в честь победителя.
So the national anthem plays out. And Antonella Coletta then, the head of Ferrari GT Sporting Activities, makes the trophy presentation to Eric Chung for taking P3. Rick Lovett for P2. And then taking the race win. What a great season he is having. Thomas Loflad. You're pretty happy with that. And Stella Squadra Corsa then. You'd have thought he'd won the race. Gentleman Trophy also. So they all move in then for the photographs. Hardly room up there on the top step. Budge up, Rick. So Eric Chung, P3. Rick Lovett, P2. And Thomas Loflad, P1. What a fantastic race from CoppaShell. What a fantastic weekend here in Sochi in Russia for the Ferrari Racing Days. It has been fantastic. My thanks to people that don't normally get mentioned. Anna Maria Marone, my executive director. To Pia Slazinski. And also to Franco Maselli, the director. Thank you for your support this weekend. And until you join us in Hockenheim, goodbye from Sochi.